the universal law of gravitation. Now we will see how to apply it. See, there is a question: find the force exerted on the moon by the earth. In figure question number 10.1 in the textbook, it is there. So what is given is these quantities are given. Mass of the earth is 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg. Mass of the moon is given 7.4 into 10 to the power 22 kgs. Distance between is given. The distance between the centers of the two bodies is given 3.84 into 10 to the power 8 meters. Then the value of gravitational constant g, that is 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Even this is given. So how can you solve this? Just by putting the universal law of gravitation formula. What is that? F is equals to g m1 m2 upon r square or d square. So what are the values here? Mass of the earth, mass of the product of the masses of both the bodies, mass of the earth and mass of the moon, inversely proportional to, that is on the denominator we have the distance between the two centers, okay, and it's squared 6.67. always remember this whenever we are talking about Newton's universal law. What the distance we are going to take is the distance between the centers of the two bodies, not between the surface, okay, distance between the center of the two bodies. That distance is called as d, okay. So just by putting these values we can solve it here. You can reduce in your own way and solve this question. We have solved it approximately. It's coming out to be 2 into 10 to the power 20 Newton. You have to solve it on your own, okay. Now what are the important universal law importance? Mainly why it is so important? Because it is the force which is how do we relate in our life its importance. Yes, it is always that keeps us on the earth, otherwise we would have been flying in space, shouldn't we should be flying in space. But what keeps us bound to the earth? It's gravitational force, okay. Motion of the moon around the earth, this is one thing. Otherwise moon wouldn't keep on moving, yes, okay. Otherwise moon would have flied off. Motion of planets around the sun, yes, the planets keep on revolving around the sun. That's why we feel that years are passing around, right? That is why we can sense that. And one more thing, what are those? Tides, okay. Now whenever the moon is there around, so what happens? Sea level increases, okay. You observe tides, sudden tides, a rise in sea level observes. Where there is no moon on this part of the earth, there are not tides. These are high tides, these are low tides, okay. So water bodies, these are the main applications that were explained by universal law of gravitation, okay. These 4 important points, okay. Now what is a free fall? Students, what is a free fall? You have learned it in kinematics. Free fall means what? Any object that is released means what happens? It gets dropped. Means there is only force acting upon it is gravitational force, okay. This is a free fall. If I throw it like this is not a free fall. This is a free fall, means here only force is gravitational force, whereas when we have throwing it like this, there are two forces, muscular force as well as the gravitational force. So what do we want is, when it's free fall means what? It only falls under the gravitational force, then only it is called as free fall. So in free fall what we have learned is that whenever a body falls freely, its direction does not change. It always, this rubber eraser always wants to go towards the center of the earth. Towards where? Towards the center of the earth. Here if you take this earth as a big sphere, then there will be some center here. So this object wants to reach the center of the earth, as we have just studied here in this page. It always wants to reach towards the center of the earth, okay. It always wants to reach towards the center, okay, towards the center. Now next point is that we are going to learn what happens during the free fall. What happens during the free fall is yes, what is that? The direction does not change. What happens but is velocity keeps on increasing. As you reach downwards, velocity keeps on increasing. That means what is there? It is acceleration. So direction is fixed and acceleration is also there. So this comes under the logistics of kinematics. So we can use free fall in kinematics. That is why we have been solving in kinematics free fall problems. Why can we solve in kinematics free fall problems? Because we have two necessary conditions. What are those? Acceleration should be there and direction should be constant. That is why, because direction is constant. Why? Because any object would want to go in straight direction directly to the center of the other body. So this is that first thing. And what is that? Acceleration. Because force is there will be acceleration due to Newton's second law. Carefully, when force is there will be acceleration due to Newton's second law. So acceleration is there. Now when acceleration is there, we can use kinematics, because this is the one more condition of kinematics, okay. So we have solved that. Now these are the characteristics of free fall. Okay, now hence we can use it in our equations, kinematics equation. But now one more thing, whenever an object falls upon the earth, like this is the earth system, earth is there and earth center is there. Okay, earth is a huge body, it is circular and there is a center, and here is an object that is falling towards the center of the earth. So what happens is that this body is experiencing force. How much force? Its rate of change of momentum, that is ma. Now what is its acceleration? It is equals to gravitational acceleration, that we all know, equals to mg. So force experienced by this is mg. Okay, so we can write this, F force on this body is equals to mg. Similarly, what is this force? This force is also due to the gravitational force of attraction from the universal law. Yes, each and every object experiences a force that is directly proportional to the product of the masses and inversely proportional to the distance between them. So what we can take is, here is now the body and the mass of the earth, its product upon the distance between the two centers, that is d, and put it in the formula. Comparing these two, what do we get? Small m get cancelled with small m, g equals to gm upon d squared. Now what do we have here? The radius of the earth is there, something. Okay, it is the radius of the earth, whatever it will be, this height will not change much. Of the radius of the earth. Okay, because this will be 10 meters, 20 meters, let us say, but radius of the earth is 6400 kilometers. So 6400 kilometers and plus 20 meters something will not change. So we can approximately take value of d equals to r. So we can take value of d equals to r. When we can take the value of d equals to r, then we can just put it in this equation, so that we will get d equals to r. This is the value of g. This is the value of small g. That is, experimentally, if you put the value of g, mass of the earth and radius of the earth, then whatever value you get, okay, that is the same value that is found from value of g when we put in kinematics. Okay, when we put in kinematics, can you find acceleration? Yes, if you have a vertical distance, an object falls down. Okay, you have s, that is h, height of the body, and you have initial velocity. Let us put s is equals to ut plus half at square. You record the time, put it here. You let us take, you drop it, so u will be equals to 0, and if you just put the value of height, then you will be h is equals to half at square. And what is this a? This a will naturally come equals to, this a will naturally become equal to g. That is, you will find out this value is coming out to be 10 meters per second square, and this value, or 9.8, or to be precise 9.8, and this value and the value found out by the universal gravitational, both value are approximately 9.8 only. Okay, so this is understood. Okay, the value that we have derived from kinematics and the value that is being understood from the universal gravitational law, both are equal. Okay, but this value of 9.8 that we are observing in kinematics is not always constant. Why? Because this radius of the earth is not equal, because earth is not perfectly spherical. Earth is flattened because of its rotation, continuous rotation. Earth is flattened at the equator, and it is a little shrunk at the, or not shrunk, but it is a little, radius is little lesser at the poles. So what happens is, eventually this radius is bigger. So when the radius is bigger, the denominator gets bigger. When the denominator gets bigger, value of gravity is reducing. So the value here, the weight here is reduced weight, where the weight here is more, because or the radius is lesser here, so the value of g is also lesser here. That is why weight is also lesser here. How can we see it? Just see it here. At equator, the radius is greater than the radius at poles. So what happens is, eventually g at both the positions will not be same. Okay, so what is the g? Let us check how it is comparable. So let us put value of g for equator, for poles. Let us compare it. How to compare? If the above two quantities are same, mass of the earth being same, gravitational constant is constant. So how can we compare? By comparing the radius. Okay, so whose radius is more? The radius of equator is more. So radius of equator is more So what happens if this quantity is more, its gravitational acceleration will be less. Okay, so since r equator is more, gravitational acceleration is less. So what happens here, the force is more because height is less na. When distance is less, force is more. Yes, so here weight is more, so polar bears are there here, they will weigh more, and when the polar bears come here, they will weigh less. It is just an understanding thing. See how you can remember is that. Okay, how to remember this? White polar bears are there na, they are weighing more than the black terrestrial polar bears. Just remember like this, so that in MCQs if it comes, then you might answer. Okay, how to calculate the value of g? Just put that value of g here by universal law and find out this value now, and this value you also compare it with kinematics. Okay, now next, motion of object under influence of force upon the earth. Okay, now this was the experiment done by Galileo before Newton. There was a leaning Pisa tower in Italy where he had kept this for such many objects, and what he had done is, one object was solid sphere, another was hollow sphere, another was small solid, another was small, this is small solid, this is small hollow sphere, and he all left it at same time. He made them all free fall. So what happens is that first we might think that because this is weighing more, this is has mass more, it would try to come back quickly, and this is will come back slowly, and because the height is inclined, it might also support that. But what happens is that the motion is not, force might be yes, according to us first impression, force might be different, force might be more upon this, but what happens is that what makes it come down is not force, what makes it come down is acceleration. So what is the acceleration for all these bodies, for all the four bodies from earth? Value of g is going to be same, value of g is going to be same as 9.8 only. So acceleration is same for all these bodies. Since acceleration is same, in the value of small g that we have derived here, there is no role of small m, m1, m2, m3, there is no role of small m, so it does not depend. And kinematics has these three laws which involve time, so in all these three equations there is no role of small m. Okay, here also there is no role of small m, so it is independent of mass, all the four objects come at same time. But what about this paper? This paper will experience a frictional force upwards, because its force of gravity is far lesser than the force of friction. So what happens is that due to frictional force, it makes on flying, and eventually after a lot of time it comes down. Okay, so understand this much and complete the notes up till this point. Okay.